The courtroom was completely packed. There were individuals looking carefully, as well as reporters and cameras. In the upcoming trial of Diddy, everyone was eagerly anticipating the next step that would be taken. Suddenly, everything was different. One of the judges made a gesture. I was prepared to play a new piece of evidence that had been uncovered. It was a recording of an audio file. After the judge made the announcement about who was on it, there was complete silence throughout the entire room. It was Christian Combs, Diddy's own kid, who was present. There have been significant developments in the case against Sean Diddy Combs, including what he decided in court today, and what this now means. This decision was made just 4 days before his trial is scheduled to begin. Take a look at Aaron Katursky. Diddy's face became quite pale. As soon as the music started playing, everyone was instantly taken aback by what they heard. A clear recording of Christian discussing confidential matters that took place in Diddy's houses and parties was made available to the public. During his speech, he discussed the visitors, the private flights, and even addressed the fact that some individuals were bribed to maintain silence. The worst aspect about it all, his statements gave the impression that Diddy was the one responsible for everything. Initially, Diddy sat there dumbfounded. Aiming to maintain his composure, he took a few sips of water and stared at the table. After a while, however, his hands began to shake, and his eyes became filled with anger as the tape continued.
Diddy,
who was seated at the defense table with his attorneys, did not exhibit any signs of emotion when the judge finally made his decision. As the United States Marshals led him out of the courthouse, he took a drink of water before leaving the building. The attorneys for him have now sworn to fight against this. In an effort to secure Diddy's release, they are scheduled to return to court on Wednesday, where they will be presented with the judge who will be in charge of overseeing this trial. He then lost his temper. In an instant, Diddy sprang up and began ranting loudly. He yelled out, "This is a setup," while pointing to the speakers that were actively playing the music, while his attorneys attempted to rescind his decision. "I am his father. These are falsehoods." As the courtroom was filled with gasps, the reporters began typing quickly. The judge attempted to bring order to the situation by striking the gavel, but Diddy refused to sit down. He was yelling over everyone else, claiming that he was being framed, and that he was being betrayed. At long last, federal marshals were had to accompany him out of the courthouse.
the music mogul,
Who had hitherto maintained a cool demeanor, suddenly became aggressive. A number of others were already referring to it as Diddy's breakdown outside of the courtroom. What exactly was it on that audio that struck him with such force? According to sources, Christian discussed details regarding occurrences that would only be known to someone who is really close to Diddy. In his statement, he recalled having talks in private, booking flights for people he did not know, and making huge payments in cash. In the event that Bill and Sud were to accept a plea bargain, it would imply that Sean Combs would be required to provide an admission of both trafficking and force. In addition, he made it abundantly plain today that this was not going to take place. For the entirety of these interactions, Diddy has claimed that they were between consenting adults, and he intends to take his chances that a jury would agree with him. This came from more than simply a son talking. Someone who was aware of how everything functioned behind the scenes was the one who made the statement. He was now revealing the truth to the audience. People have the opinion that Christian gave the tape in order to avoid going to jail himself. In the words of some, he simply could not lie anymore. In any case, the harm was already done. Diddy's team made a hasty attempt to provide an explanation for the outburst. He was believed to be astonished, hurt, and to have felt betrayed by them. His own kid has turned against him, according to one of his attorneys, who informed the reporters that he is not only dealing with a trial, but also with his own son. The fact that Mr. Combs is not entirely guilty is due to the fact that he believes that he is innocent. The reason he is going to tell the truth about this situation is because he wants to show the individuals who have loved him throughout his entire life that he is honest. In addition, I believe that he has a sense of responsibility toward people in general. It may be people of color, it could be individuals of white race, or it could be anyone who has ever experienced feelings of being subjected to oppression and targeted by the government. He is under the impression that he is obligated to say to those individuals, "You know what, maybe I can just break the model. Perhaps I will be able to demonstrate to the world that a black man can do well in federal court." Additionally, I believe that he is the only individual that I am aware of that has the potential to actually be able to achieve this goal. The use of social media skyrocketed. The new year saw a rise in the popularity of Christian talk, and the breakdown of Diddy. The fans were divided. Christian was defended by those who believed that he had the courage to speak the truth. When he testified against his father, several people referred to him as a snake, as all was going on. Christian remained silent. The insiders, however, claim that this is only the beginning. It's possible that there will be other recordings, additional evidence, and potentially even more family members get involved. In this trial, money and fame are no longer the only considerations. It tells the story of a father and son who are ripped up. There was a time when Diddy had everything: fame, power, and respect. However, the same individuals who were instrumental in his ascent to prominence are also the ones who are working to pull him down. The events that transpired in court make it abundantly evident that Diddy is not handling the situation well. The beginning of his trial will take place today, when he walks into federal court to begin his hearing before Sean Combs. From the looks of things, he was looking for his family. However, his sons, his mother, and his sister, who had previously attended those sessions, were not present at any of the hearings that I attended. They have pretty much been present at every single one of the hearings that I have attended. According to some, this collapse could be even more detrimental to his case. When defendants lose control of the situation in court, judges take offense. Christian is the focus of everyone's attention as the trial progresses. Is he going to act as the next witness? Is he going to reveal further information about what actually took place behind closed doors? Moreover, is it possible for Diddy to get himself together before it is too late? It is abundantly evident that Diddy did not merely hear his son's voice when he listened to that audio recording. Suddenly, he became aware of the sound of his kingdom disintegrating. At that precise instant, in the presence of everyone, he completely lost it. This case is not even close to being resolved. At this point, however, the world has witnessed a facet of Diddy that they will forget forever. A courtroom scene that rocked the entire world. A father who deceived his son, and a son who courageously spoke out.